Hey, Mark here. So I want to talk to you a little bit about Tom Brady. I'm going to be upfront. I'm a Patriots fan. I am a Tom Brady fan. I think he's an incredible quarterback. But I think he has a problem. And, as we hear the saga grow out between him and Giselle about divorcing and him not wanting to give up football and she's asked him to, it really comes down to fear. He is afraid to give up his identity. And that's true of a high school athlete, it's true of a college athlete, and especially of a pro athlete. It's also true if you start looking at CEOs, accountants, teachers. We're all afraid to give up our career identity. That thing that we've had throughout our life, that we have been referred to and that we look at. And I think that's the biggest thing that we get so caught up in. Our identity is in the wrong place. Just like Tom Brady, he is so focused on being a quarterback, of being a player in the NFL. Yeah, I get it. He's been the longest standing quarterback. That's great. But on the other side, let's look at his work-life balance. He doesn't have one. It's very hard for him to focus on other things, to be with his family, right? Everything is 24/7 football, from really the off season all the way through the season. And I can hear in the comments that Giselle makes that she's asking him to give up football because she has given up so much so she can do her career. There's not a balance in that relationship. It wasn't going to make it. And more importantly, though, is Tom has to face his gremlins. He has to face his fear. Because if he doesn't, he's always going to be stuck. Look, once you retire, you're no longer a quarterback. You were a quarterback. What are you now? And I think that's the important part. You don't want to live off of, I was a quarterback. What are you creating in your life that you can be there as a father, as a friend, as a colleague, right? You signed this wonderful deal to be out there for 10 years as an analyst. But it's still with football, which is great. But what are you going to do outside of that? Right? Before you became the New England Patriots quarterback, you were in baseball and you did other things. And I think you need to revisit that. And we all do. We need to really revisit, what is our true identity? Who are we as we go through things? Because in the end, I think we need to be careful. It can hurt us because we're always stuck. I'm a lawyer, I'm a teacher, I'm a custodian, I'm a bus driver, I'm middle management, I'm a CEO, whatever it may be. What it really comes down to is you need to look at, what are you doing in your life to grow your interests, your identity outside of that? What are your hobbies? What are your interests? What do you do for self-care? It's so important that we take care of ourselves. Look, Tom's a number. Whether he likes it or not, he may be number one overall, he may be the GOAT, but he's a number. He's replaceable. And especially at this point, he is replaceable. We all are. And I think that's the one thing we have to get an understanding of. Wherever we work, whatever we do, we're replaceable. Right? Elon Musk just bought Twitter. Fired the top 3 people. They're replaceable. And I think if we get over that, there is no one on this world that is irreplaceable. And I think that's the important part as we think about our own identity. I'm just a number. Look, I was Teacher of the Year. I was a finalist for Teacher of the Year. I thought I was it. New principal came in who had a totally different vision, didn't care for what we were doing, and I was done, right? Over, out, see you, replaceable, right? They didn't even replace my job. They just closed it feeling it wasn't that important. So that's the important part you need to think about as you go through this. What are those activities, what are those things that you're doing to build up, whether it's reading, it's going for bike rides, it's listening to a podcast, getting some exercise. Who are you connecting with? What are the groups of people that you have a good conversation with, that you go out, maybe have a beer, maybe you go to the wine trail, maybe you go hiking, go camping. What is it that you do that's going to develop you? Because that's the most important part, not some other person. And look, Tom's having trouble with this. And if you hear this, Tom, reach out, because here's the thing. You need to go through and deal with your fear and your gremlins. We all deal with it. We've all gone through it. And you're at that end, and you can see that end. And that end has caused the end of your marriage. It's caused a break in the way you have played this year because you haven't dealt with those fears and embraced them to really work through them. And we all have fears like that. We all go through similar things. Whether it's a fracture in a relationship, whether it's a fracture at work with colleagues, whatever it may be, we need to think about how we can connect with who we are. The true Mark Danaher, the true Tom Brady, so that I can develop my own life. And I think that's the one important part. That's what I gained when I was kind of kicked to the curb, because I went through it. I was pushed out, and you can hear it now. People are saying Tom Brady should retire. Yeah, maybe he should. He probably should have last year, because he was right in a spot where his wife was still okay. And he was in a spot where he was starting to do things. But then he panicked. And don't panic. That's the most important part, because don't panic. We're going to face fears. We're going to face our gremlins. We have one life. Enjoy it. Get out there and really live it. Because in the end, you're it. Who is the authentic you? What is your identity? Those are the things you want to start to think about. And really forecast your future self. Don't get stuck where I'm right here and I'm focused as Mark Danaher, the coach. What is my future self going to be? And I think that's an important part, is I'm always thinking of that. I'm loving the moment. I am right here and I'm focused on the moment, but I'm also thinking about who do I want to be and start acting like that. Because in the end, I could be gone tomorrow, but I also could be replaced tomorrow. Right? So really take some time, reflect on what's out there. And it's important that we face our fears. We all struggle. You can see Tom is struggling. Tom Brady is struggling right now. And he's struggling on the field because he can't face his fears. More importantly, he may not have all the assets that he wants on the field, but because his off-field is not resolved, he's bringing it on the field and he does not look like the same person he used to. He doesn't have that laser focus. And that's the big deal. Makes a big difference. When you lose that foundation, you lose that rock as it goes through, it affects everything else. So listen, take some time, focus on yourself, ask those questions. Who am I? Who do I want to become? What am I outside of my career? And the next time you go to a cocktail party, right? Everybody asks that question because you don't know them. Hey, what do you do? I'm a... And how are you going to answer that? Hopefully you'll say, I'm a father, I'm a good friend, I'm a caring individual, and don't get into, I'm a lawyer, I'm an accountant, I'm a paralegal, I'm a retail manager. But share who you are. Let them get to know you and not your career title and not everything that you think about in your career. That makes a huge difference as we go through. So listen, reach out. Tom Brady, reach out. I'd love to have a conversation with you. I've been really helping people really figure out clarity, build their confidence in their own identity so they can set up that work-life balance and purpose of what they want in their next move. And for anybody else, reach out. I'd be more than happy to have a conversation because it's important. It's important that we focus on who we are outside of our job title. Because in the end, we're not always working. And I'm not a coach when I'm home. I'm dad. I'm a husband. I'm a caring individual. I'm a good friend. And that makes a difference. And you can't take that away from me, where anybody can take away my career. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon. And listen, still trying to grow the YouTube channel as I go through, and I'm going to be doing Saturday specials. So basically, these are not going to be put out other than on YouTube, so you're going to need to subscribe to get these. And I'd be more than happy to share that, and please share my message and connect some other people with me. Take care and have a great day. We'll talk soon.